Hi there, in this video I'll be showing you how to build custom services for WemX. So you can think of a service as a provisioning module for whatever it is that you're selling. Let me give you an example. Let's say you want to sell Minecraft servers. So for that you'd use a software like Pterodactyl and you'd build a custom service for Pterodactyl for WemX to have an integration. So whenever someone purchases an item on the checkout, the service module will automatically provision that Minecraft server with the necessary requirements. We do already have a service available for Pterodactyl, but this is just a general example to explain what a service is. So right now I'm on the documentation page for WemX service development. So before we do get into this, I want to say that you should have some experience in development. You should know about Laravel, how Laravel works, and how you can build Laravel applications. So let's go ahead and scroll down, and here is a tutorial on how you can build custom services. There's everything based on it is what you're building. So up here you can find a command to get started with your service. So as you can see, we can run this command in our application and that will create a service automatically for us that we can start editing. So let me go to the terminal and let's go ahead and make a brand new service. So PHP artisan service make, and we're going to be making a service called Discord hook. Hit enter. My bad. So we have to go to the WemX directory first. So let's go and cd for www wemx dev, and we're gonna run this command and that should work. There we go. It successfully created the service for Discord hook, and let's go ahead and see if it exists. So if we do ls app services, there you go, you can see that the Discord hook now exists in this directory. You can go in this directory and you can copy all of the files and save them on your server, or you can edit them directly. But right now I already have them open in Visual Studio Code, which is an IDE that you can use to edit any kind of applications. Right now I'm using it for the Discord hook service that we're building. So for this tutorial, we're going to be making a service that sends Discord webhooks to our Discord server whenever an item is purchased, suspended, unsuspended, or terminated, just to for example purposes. So as you can see, you have a bunch of files in this directory that are created when you run the service create command. You have the service.php file, which is the most important file, which contains most of the configuration logic, and then you also have some other files like the service provider. Here you can enable a bunch of stuff, so this is for more advanced development. But let's say if you wanted to enable configs in Laravel, you could set this to true. If you wanted to enable custom artisan commands, you can set this to true and then register those commands. If you wanted to register migrations, etc., so you can set that up in this file, but we're not really going to be touching the in this tutorial. So let's go ahead and go to the service.php file. So let's go ahead and let me give you a quick run through. So here we can define the config, and this is the config where users can enter secret information or information that is required to run the service. Think of API keys or URLs as things like that. Then we have the package config, which is a config form for each specific package. Then you also have the checkout config for each checkout, so this form will appear on the checkout. We also have service buttons. We have the create method. So this method is called whenever a item is purchased using this service module. We have the upgrade. You can remove this if your service doesn't support upgrading. You can go ahead and remove this. So let's go ahead and do that, because we're not going to be looking into that. But if your service does support upgrading, you can handle that logic in here. You got these other methods: suspend, unsuspend, and terminate. Let's go ahead and go to the docs, and now we're going to be adding a input form where users can basically add their webhook URL, where they want to send the webhooks to whenever an order is purchased or suspended. Let's go to Laravel. Let's go to the web, and go to our documentation. Let's go ahead and go to the config menu here, and that gives us the documentation for the config. So let's go ahead, and we're going to be copying this field. Let me go back. There we go. Paste that in here, and here we're going to define the config. So for configs, it's important to define the unique name of the service in the key value. That's only for the main config. For the package config and checkout, it's not required. So we're gonna put Discord hook. We're just gonna put a unique name, and then webhook URL. Then we're just gonna set the name webhook URL. We're gonna go ahead and enter the webhook. As you can see, it automatically completes that for me because I'm using the GitHub Copilot extension. Let's remove the empty, and here we can add Laravel validation rules. So what this is you can add validation rules from Laravel. Laravel has a bunch of validation rules by default, like is it a numeric value? Does the value exist in the database? Is it a URL? Is it an IP address, etc.? You can also make custom rules. Let's go ahead and add active URL. I believe that's a default rule, and that will check if a URL really exists before saving it. So let's go ahead and save this file. And I got this error. I'm just going to click on override. Let's go to the web interface. And now, as you can see, if we go ahead and refresh, our service appears here, Discord hook. It's currently disabled. We also have a configuration. Let's go ahead and enable it first. And then we're going to go and jump into the configuration, and you can see there's a webhook URL field here. So if we enter any value right now, so test, and let's go ahead and save it, it's going to give me an error, is not a valid URL, because we're using the active URL. Even if we enter some random URL like hps.com, it knows that this URL is not in use, so it's gonna return an error. Let's see. Yep, so it returns an error. So let's go ahead and generate the webhook URL that we're going to be using for this tutorial. I've created a Discord server with a channel where we're going to be receiving the webhooks. Click on settings, go to integrations, and create a new webhook. And we have a webhook created here. You can add a custom icon if you want. We're going to copy the webhook URL and go back. We're gonna paste it in here, and if that's correct, it's not gonna give an error now, and it's saved properly. Let's go ahead and go back, and now let's focus on the package config. So we might want to add some custom data in the package config. For example, right now, if I was building the pterodactyl module, which already exists, but if I was in this config, I'd define the API keys, the URL to the panel, etc. And in here, I would define how much RAM the package has, how much storage, the backup size, etc. But for now, let's just add some test value. go back to the documentation, click on package config, and let's just copy an example here. There we go. And for this example, we're just gonna add the Discord role ID, and we're just gonna, oh my bad, the key should not have any spaces or capital letters. Discord role ID, enter the ID of the role you want to give to users. This is just some random information that we're going to enter. So the type, it's a number, because on Discord the IDs are numbers, and we're going to make it required. And for extra validations we can add numeric, so that will check if the value is a number. For the checkout config, let's go ahead and add a field. You can just copy this, because all these configs use a similar approach. We're gonna add Discord user ID, and this is the form that will appear at the checkout. Discord user ID, then please enter your autocomplete for me. It's a number again, it's required and numeric. Let's go ahead and save that, and if we go back to our package, if we go back to our website, we can go here, we can add new packages, and let's just create a new package. We're gonna call it Discord role, and we're gonna select the test category, and for the service provider we're gonna select Discord hook, and it's gonna be admin only. There we go, the service, the package has been created. We can go to the service settings, click that, and as you can see, the form that we added appears here. So let's just enter a random value. So there we go, and update. That says correctly, it's a numeric value. If we enter letters, it would give an error. So we have this, and now if we open a new tab, we go to services, we go to the test category, the Discord role category appears here, and as you can see, there's also a custom option here to enter the Discord user ID that we specified, and the user has to enter this before they check out. Now let's go ahead and implement the actual logic for sending the webhooks, because we have everything set up as we want it, and now we're gonna actually send those webhooks. So the first thing we're gonna want to do is import the HTTP class in Laravel. So I'm just gonna add a comment here for the look, it already knows that we wanted to use HTTP. I don't know how, but the AI model already knew, because this is a larger class. Just for nicer looking purposes, we're gonna add it at the top, and we're gonna come down here. You can also update these values in the metadata, so set your own name as the author. And in the create method, we're gonna go ahead and define the logic that should be run whenever a service is purchased. So let's first go ahead and define the order, which is this order. So the create method is called whenever a user purchases a server or whatever they purchase at checkout. This method is called. So now we're gonna go ahead and add the logic. Let's go ahead and define a new variable. Webhook URL is settings, and in the settings we're gonna use, let me come up here, we're gonna use this key. There we go. Oh, my bad. And let's go ahead and also define the package, which is this, which is order and then package. and that's also good. Now let's go ahead and scroll down. Let's go ahead and go down. And now we're gonna actually make the request to the webhook URL. So we're gonna make a response using the HTTP post method to the webhook URL that the user has entered in the configuration. With the content, new order has been created for the user's username here, and for the package, and then it shows the name of the package. So let's go ahead and look at uh, the webhook data in more detail. This is a website that contains the structure of the webhooks on Discord. These are the parameters that we can pass. We can pass a username for the webhook sender. We can pass a avatar URL, content, emd message, etc. So let's go ahead and make this username configurable so that it looks nice. Let's go to the package config. Let's duplicate this field, username, and then we can add it username, enter the username of the webhook sender. Here we're gonna remove this because it's not a URL. Save it. Now if we go ahead and go back to the config, let me come down here, services, Discord, and then for the username, let's set up WemX Academy. So that's the username that's going to appear whenever the webhook are sent. Let's go back to the package settings. Let's come here, and now here let's go ahead and define the username, and it already autofills for me. We're gonna also come down here and let's add some cool emd messages. Let's look at the structure. So emd, we're gonna define the color, the author, title, URL, and the fields. This is something that we should do carefully. We don't want to mess up here. Emd is, and it already pre-fills it for me, but I really have to check if this data is correct before I actually submit it. Let's go ahead and actually remove this. Oh, don't know what happened. You know what? Let's for now skip the emd messages because I'm just trying to get the point across here. We have this create message. Let's go ahead and save, and let's first see if it actually works before we go any further. So what this code should do, it should send a webhook to Discord whenever a item is purchased. So let's go to our store and let's go ahead and purchase the item. And oh yeah, we might want to define this user ID whenever an order is purchased. So let's add that. New order created for username, for package, and then the user ID is, and then we can do order options Discord user ID. I believe that's correct. Let me just check if that key is yep. Let's see, is that from the checkout config? Yeah. Okay, so this is gonna also include the user's Discord ID. Now let's go ahead and make a purchase. What's my ID? I'm just gonna add 1, 3, whatever, some random values. Gonna accept this. Let's use the balance method and let's go ahead and pay. And our payment's been successful. Let's go to the order. Let's see if there's no errors. There's no errors. Let's go to our webhook channel, and there we go. New order has been created for Mubin. For package Discord role, the user ID is this. So it has sent the webhook for us with all the information that we wanted. Let's go ahead and also add the other method. So for suspend, Let's also add a method here. Let's copy this webhook URL, and then we're going to set the username, and then order has been suspended. We're just going to copy this. You could actually just make one function, for example, a function called send Discord webhook, and then you just pass some parameters to avoid duplication. Just for this video, we're going to do it like this. On suspended, there we go, everything's correct. Then let's also add for the terminate function, terminated. So let me explain what these suspend, unsuspend, and terminate are. So suspend is called whenever a server is past its due date. So if they, for example, let's say they bought a website after the order is after the past the due date, you may want to suspend their order. So you can handle that logic in this method. Once they do pay, you can unsuspend it. So if you want to continue, give them the opportunity to keep using their website, or if you want to completely terminate. So after 7 days after a order has been suspended, it gets terminated, and the terminate function should actually completely erase the server. So it's quite a dangerous function. Let's go ahead and save it, and let's see if this works. So as you can see, it's currently empty. Let's go to our admin area. We're going to go to orders. We're going to find the brand new order. Let's go ahead and suspend. And the order has been suspended. As you can see, the status has been changed to suspended. If we look here, order has been suspended for Mobeen package. The user ID is the ID we entered at checkout. Then let's go ahead and terminate the server. It gives me an alert. Okay. And the server has been terminated. So what does this logic mean? We can build essentially anything. We can use our custom classes like the HTTP class to make servers. You could translate this logic for whatever purposes that you want for your own service that you're building. It's quite simple. We built quite a nice method to building custom services. You can also find our documentation on our website, and we have guides for a lot of other stuff. So we also have methods to create. Let me find the method. Service buttons. So these are buttons that the user can find in the dashboard. You can also define sidebar buttons that are here. Let me open it, that are over here. You can also define other methods. Let's say like for example, you can also add a test connection button and then try the connection. You can do a bunch of stuff. You can also use custom routes, controllers. You can pretty much build an entire application using the service system. It's very powerful, and yeah, you can build almost anything that you want. That is it for this video. I want to thank you for watching, and hopefully you can build some very nice services, and have a good day. Bye.